It feels weird to use the words must win game for the Kansas City Chiefs in November, but Jeff, it feels like that's where we may be this week. Welcome back to the BetCanada channel. Katie Caldwell, Jeff Lloyd. Let's start there. How much do the Chiefs need this win against the Colts this week? It feels like uncharted territory for Patrick Mahomes, and this is just the epitome of a measuring stick game.
Well, I mean, when you talk about this AFC, and we've talked about this, I think we've kind of collectively kind of moved our chips more where we think the NFC might be stronger overall, but it doesn't
Right.
mean that the AFC doesn't have some good teams.
Hmm.
So you figure though, one more loss, the max for the Kansas City Chiefs could be 11-6.
Yep.
We're not positive 11 wins might get you to the party. So that is where you get to this, where this is a really, granted, you still have a game with Denver, another game with the Chiefs, the Chargers, that type of stuff. And that could maybe shift some balance. But, one more loss and, 11 and then you're asking them almost to run the table afterwards. It's really
Yeah.
hard to expect anybody to win 6 straight games in the NFL these days. So, oh, yeah, there's no question about it. If you're Kansas City, this is no doubt uncharted territory.
Hmm.
And normally it's, let's just get right, win the division, get our bye week. For Kansas City, this is going to be, we are going to play every week for the rest of the season.
Hmm.
If you want to achieve your goals, that's it. You're not going to get the benefit of a bye. And maybe it's one of the things that can maybe help Kansas City because it's just a different avenue. It's
Yes.
more pressure at this point in the year than they have ever had to experience. God knows their guys are tested. God knows they've been through their battles. So take what you've been through and hopefully apply it to a situation where other teams, certainly the one you're playing this week, have not been there, do not have the conversations where they can say, well, look, here it is this year. We went, we ripped off 4 out of 5, won 5 out of 6, won 6 in a row because that's what
Hmm.
needed to be done. So for Kansas City, rely on what has made you this dynasty for the last few years. Find some way to funnel all that information you've taken in and work it into a positive here and hopefully find a way to get on a run.
A matchup I'm looking at in this one is Jonathan Taylor against this run defense. So the Chiefs have allowed only two rushing plays over 20 yards all season. But one thing about Jonathan Taylor, he is capable of those big plays.
Jonathan Taylor, and I can't even, I think I've lost count. It has to be 4 to 5 games where it's been the fourth quarter. One
Yep.
of them didn't even count against the Los Angeles Rams, where all of a sudden it was a fourth quarter carry, and it wasn't, it was a backbreaker. 70 yards to the house, 60 yards to the house.
Hmm.
Just that much of a difference. Whatever the MVP conversations end up being, and it's going to have a whole bunch of quarterbacks in there. I do hope that people are going to loudly express how consistent Jonathan Taylor has been week in
Yep.
and week out. Not even that, as much as Jonathan Taylor has been fourth quarter crucial, overtime crucial, been the game changer many a time this year. And I keep going back to that. And this time of year, and to our credit, look, we've loved what Daniel Jones has done.
Hmm.
The handling of the ball over the last 2 weeks has certainly been a little sloppy, a little bit more reminiscent of all caused all the concerns about his time with the New York Giants. So my first thinking is, if this is the case, do I try to work Jonathan Taylor a little bit more than I have been?
Right.
Just because I know that works. And I'll tell you right now, if it were me and it were one game, Jonathan Taylor would get the ball 35 to 40 times because
Yeah.
I know that is how consistent that is for the Colts.
Yes.
And, why risk all the other factors of going into a passing game that there is? So I would think to maybe start a little bit of an uptick in
Mm.
Jonathan Taylor's workload here, just because you know how good it's been. Plus, it also gives Daniel Jones a little bit more chance to breathe, relax, knowing he's been kind of slippery with it the last few weeks.
On the Chiefs side, does this come down to Patrick Mahomes airing it out? Because we've talked about, you and I, Jeff, that their run game just doesn't look great this season. How do you see them planning for this Colts defense? Because, man, if there is one guy in the NFL that has played the Chiefs quite a few times, it's Lou Anarumo.
If I am the Kansas City Chiefs and I am tasked with this, I am not going down knowing I did not give my 3-time Super Bowl winning future Hall of Fame quarterback the opportunity to carry his team.
Yes.
I don't care about Kareem Hunt. Pacheco is injured. The guy I tried to bring up a couple of weeks ago, the rookie at SMU Smith, I don't even know if you're in that position right now where you're going to say, hey, let's give the rook more time with all of this pressure. might not be the right time to start working him into more of a rotation at the running back. If I am going down, I am going down with Pat throwing it. I don't care if it's 50 times. He is still the best or one of the best there has ever been to do it.
Absolutely.
And it's not like he's 38 or 39 where he's limited. He can still play
Mhm.
his helter-skelter style that he has always done and always been so successful with. I am not taking the bat out of my best player's hands.
Yeah.
So, I am going to if Pat feels we need to throw it at a bunch, no problem, and you know what, Pat? Here's the wristband, don't even tell me. Find the personnel that's on the field, line them up how you need to do it, and I know, and we all know, Pat knows what he thinks is gonna be successful.
Mhm.
Trust him, he has earned it.
Quick pause. If you haven't subscribed to the BetCanada YouTube channel, you can do so below. It's free and it helps support our channel so we can keep bringing you NFL and NHL content. Now, back to the show. So the Colts, they've won 5 of their last 6 and now they have a week to rest. If the Chiefs lose to the Colts, this is such a funny question to be asking in November, but are they done? Cuz I think their playoff odds are at 35% if they do lose this game. But I start to look at the tiebreakers for the wild card that they've lost so many of these matchups already. What does that mean for the Chiefs if they do lose this game? Because man, like a few other matchups this week, this is a really interesting time for these two teams specifically to play each other. What does this look like if the Colts win?
Well, the way you look at it, though, this is obviously 7 games left. After this game, there's 6.
Hmm.
Something could happen. You know what I'm saying? In 6 weeks, there's enough time. Unfortunately, something could happen. I mean, you look at Pittsburgh right now. You
Hmm.
don't know where they're at with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
We think they're gonna get caught anyway by the Baltimore Ravens, whether or not they can contend for a wild card, even with Aaron Rodgers, who's playing okay. He's not playing Aaron Rodgers like. I doubt you're gonna get Mason Rudolph to give you even what Aaron Rodgers been giving you this year. Now, all
Right.
of a sudden, maybe that AFC North, it's one ticket, and it's the team that wins the division, which is most likely gonna be Baltimore. Buffalo, New England, you're getting 2 from the East. Now you so I mean, that's it. So there's one wild card gone. So now
Yeah.
you get to obviously, there's only 2 others left to be had. Denver is gonna punch a ticket. One of those teams in that division is probably going to take another one. Are we gonna get a second team from the South? We'll see the way it works because the Colts and Jacksonville play twice. So those battles between
Yeah.
those 2 will determine if the South is gonna get 2 or gonna get 1. God forbid you get another quarterback injury and all of a sudden a team can't field their regular offense for even 2, 3 games. It
Right.
could cost you. I'm not gonna say Kansas City's dead in the water at 5 and 6, and look, there's been a lot of people who have been waiting for this opportunity to point their finger and kind of get a chuckle. Me, I don't care if I like the team or not. I appreciate greatness. I
Big
appreciate a
time.
team that goes on a long time run. I like the Chiefs. They're fun. I think they're exciting. But I also
Mhm.
like I have a mad respect for winning and consistency with winning.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be the one. And maybe the folks can get their jokes off. And then all of a sudden, a couple days after Christmas, you're gonna see the Kansas City fans and players with the memes. Okay, so
Yeah.
you thought it was all over by Thanksgiving. Oh, that makes sense because most of you people, your season's done by Thanksgiving. Our season
Yeah.
ends in January.
That's the thing. The Kansas City Chiefs, I truly have to believe to see it for them to be out, but it is way more interesting this season for sure. Who do you have
But
winning this one, and what is your score prediction? I have the
it would
Colts keep
go ahead.
rolling in this
W
one.
It would feel different if I knew this game was in Indianapolis. I would probably feel a little bit different. This is not the easiest place to go in and play.
Mhm.
That being said, right now, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is allowing a 70% completion rate on 3rd down. So that means a lot of this is going on at home as well. Normally, Spagnuolo's defense is under 60%. So
Yes.
this defense is wilting in the biggest spots there are. The Colts, Alec Pierce is back. He's been playing very
Mhm.
well. He's been a vital guy for that team for many years. So when you get Pierce, and obviously Warren's been so huge, and the other receivers that you have there as well, Pittman, but now also you have Taylor doing what he's doing. There are weapons everywhere right now for the Colts. This comes down, in my opinion, can Daniel Jones, hopefully off of the bye, and it was probably a little helter skelter. I can't imagine for Daniel Jones. So, was it used appropriately? Was it just, relax, look ahead to Kansas City and, be thankful for what's here because what went on most of the bye, right after, Colts made a huge trade which everybody knew right away. This basically opened the window to the Colts negotiating long term with Daniel Jones.
Mhm.
Are we worried still about the task at hand? Hopefully, we're not thinking about contract extensions, any of that things. This will probably be the last week I'll do it. I think the Chiefs will win because their backs are against the wall. Of course, I said that last week. But again, it's hard to believe
Yeah.
they are out of it until you see that, when you look at standings and you know, the E eliminated. So until I see that, I'm going to have a real hard time believing it.